Hello, my name is Dakota. This July 7th to December 18th of 2020, I worked at Biogen as a global learning and development co-op. NU Careers definitely explained my position well, at least the position that I worked directly under my boss, Nikki Wright, in manager development, but I think it did lack all of the experience I would gain working on that team in general. So I thought, as much as it was a good description for my individual position, I got to see so much and work with so much that wasn't included on there. This was a paid position, and I was really happy after my first unpaid co-op, but I definitely gave up more of the mission-driven work to work just in corporate HR. And my position was not self-designed, and it was in Cambridge, although I was virtual the whole time, and I actually have my Biogen jacket on. I spent the majority of my time working in manager development with my direct manager, Nikki Wright. I worked on a lot of projects with her, including some new, like a new manager orientation, which was a new project we put out and on our existing manager programs to update them, and I'll go more into that later. I hoped to learn on this co-op. After feedback from my first co-op, manager, she said that I needed to focus more on how I present myself in meetings and when I speak up and when I don't. So on this co-op, I really wanted to do that. And since I had such a bigger team than my first co-op, that I found that that was easier and I had a lot more responsibility, so I could speak to more things. I really feel I did develop myself in meetings in this co-op at Biogen. And I wish I would have known that my team was so amazing and they just really wanted me to ask questions and be curious. And towards the end of the co-op, I kind of figured that out and I would ask anything and everything I wanted, but I wish I would have known that sooner. And I'll know that going into my next job. The most difficult or challenging activity was an internal site at Biogen that I was tasked with being a part of the team on, and it was just a team of three, me and two other men, and navigating that relationship, working with men. Not only that, but having such a big part in that project just as a co-op, I felt it was very challenging, and the week of the launch was my busiest time, I think, ever in my life. So my boss, Nikki Wright, always was there to support me, and it went really well. The most exciting and meaningful task was working on a DE&I initiative for going through our current manager programs with the DE&I committee at Biogen, and changing them and realizing that Biogen wants to change and doesn't want to be in the past, and we want to keep moving forward and have such an emphasis on DE&I. I really loved working at a company that wanted to do that. Yeah. And a job or task that I had never done before, I cataloged all of Harvard Business Review articles that Biogen had access to for all of 2020. So basically it was just me reading through all these articles, deciding if they're relevant for my team, who on my team they're relevant for. That was a task that I was given by the manager of my manager. So I was really nervous going into it. I wanted to impress her and I wanted her to see that I could take on a big role, and my team still uses that to this day, and they're still going to use that well after I'm gone. And I think that was really important to me to kind of leave my mark and have something that'll stay there. And that project was all mine. I wasn't on a team, so that was definitely a task I had never done before. And the preparation for this co-op, I had prepared really well. In January to start this co-op process, I knew I wanted to start earlier because I wasn't doing international, but then COVID happened and I didn't actually get this co-op till May. But I felt my preparation went really well, especially for my first co-op. It just happened I had to trust the process and know that it was going to take longer than I had thought. But I stuck through it and I'm really happy I did. And as for personal perspective, how this co-op changed my sense of self was I never had more responsibility in a class in a previous co-op than I had at Biogen. They really trusted me and they wanted me to take on projects by myself. And so I've really come into my own, gained that confidence to speak in front of other team members, especially when they're older. And I think that I really have a lot of confidence going into my third co-op and job shirts in the future, and I'm really excited for all that has to offer. I loved my co-op at Biogen, and I would recommend it to anyone, and I'm so happy that I got a chance to be there. Thank you.